All right, so here we go. We're starting off Unit 4 notes. So we're working on target. There's only two targets here. Measuring angles and apply angle addition postulate. We did some measuring angles earlier. Then target 2 is another day. All right. So here we go. Measure angles, apply using a protractor, find measure of ABC, classify. So this is why the video format's a little bit different, because I got to show you right how to use the protractor here. So we're going to take this little dot right over here and put them right on the vertex, and then this angle here, right, it's angle D. And I'm taking this little black line on the edge that points over to 0 or 180. That needs to be lined up on one of these rays here. So based on the way it's on the paper, it's easier to go to C. I'm trying to match it up. And then you're trying to read right where this part comes off on these lines here. So it looks like, well, I know it's acute, so I can tell it's a little bit bigger than 40, but it's not all the way at this longer line 45. So I'm going to call it 43. All right, so if it's 43, then I know it's an acute angle. All right, measuring this guy, right? Just for the same idea. This is all for practice to make sure. So again, I'm putting my vertex, the one right in the middle here, on that dot. I'm trying to line up one of the sides. And when I do that, if I line up this side at 0, then this side is reading 180 degrees. And that would be a straight angle. We're not saying straight line because we're measuring angles. So we're going to say angle, which is why I wrote acute angle, straight angle right there. All right, so then coming over here, right? Putting that dot right on the vertex of the protractor, trying to line up this right edge. And you can see, right, this line, it goes right through. You can kind of tell where the black line is. It kind of highlights over the black ray on the page, and it's right on the 90 degrees. And if it's a right angle, because it's 90 degrees. All right, so now I'm saying dot right on angle or vertex B, matching up this line here. So again, I'm starting here at 0, so then I 10, 20, 30, 40, blah, blah, blah. There's 90, I'm still bigger. It looks like it's right on 140. And we're taking 140 on this side. We're not counting 180, 170. We're not getting smaller. Our numbers are getting bigger, so we're going to take that part that's getting bigger. 180 would be an obtuse angle. All right, there's example 1. So now here we go, example 2. Moving on to the next page. So find the measure of ABD. So ABD, right? That's the guy on the left here. DBC, that's this guy on the other side. And then ABC, that's the whole kit and caboodle there. That's the whole thing. All right, so let's measure them out then. Okay, so I got to turn the paper or the protractor, whichever one you want to turn. You got to turn something so you can see it. Again, trying to mark up my vertex at B, trying to line it on D. And now I'm trying to see where we're pointing. So where the arrow is, I'm trying to gauge. It looks like it's right at 75 there. So I'm going to say this first one is 75. Okay, going to the second one now. Again, trying to put my dot there on vertex B, trying to line my line here, pointing out at C. So this guy, there's 35. I'm going to call that 37. And if you need to, depending on what kind of protractor you have, you might have to extend that line a little further. And then you can try it again. And then it's a little bit easier to see, right? So there's my 35, 36, 37, 38. All right, so now I got to go, well, let's extend this guy out. If I had to do it last time, maybe I should just extend it out early here. All right, so I'm putting my mark here on B. I'm trying to line up my right side on that ray. And now I'm looking. So again, if I started here, I'm going 0, 0, 10, 20. So I'm reading this bottom row here. So I'm looking at about 110. I'm not taking the 70 because I can tell that this angle is bigger than 90 degrees. So this guy is 110. All right, so then let's try that again. That guy's 110. Huh. Because if you add them up, right, this is going to add to 113, not 110. So let's see that one more time. Let's check that guy out. So this guy over here, yeah, he's not at 40 yet. Let's go back and check. Now that I extended that line, I wonder if that first number is going to change. Yep, see, he's a little bit bigger than 70 now. Let's turn it over and make sure we got a good line on it. So before I said 75, and now he's not really 75. All right, so you get the idea here that if we add the two smalls, it's going to be the big. There's going to be a little bit of error on how you align it, especially with the thickness of this line and the thinness of our protractor line. So let's try another one here. So I've got ABD, that's our top one here. We'll call that guy angle 1, then we'll call this guy angle 2, and then obviously the big one is going to be the combination of the two. Okay, so well, I did the big one on accident. That's what I was looking at. That looks like it's 90 degrees. All right, checking out this guy over here now. Looks like it's going right through there. So that looks like it's 30 degrees. A, B, D, 30 degrees. All right, lining it up. That guy's right on the 60. So that matches up perfect, right? The small plus the small should equal the big. They're combined together to make each other. Like I said, that's just a little bit of error analysis on that first one. Well, I would say going off of what we should expect here, ABC, that looks like he's going to be 180 degrees. We can double check it if you need to, but it looks like it's a straight line and verified. So now if I want to check this CBD going in that direction, right, I'm starting 0, 10, 20, 30. It looks like it wants to be 40, but let me make sure. It looks like it wants to be a 40. So if that guy's 40, then the other one should be 140. So I can keep my protractor in this same spot. And if I start now on this side, I'm looking at the 0. I'm looking at the top line. All right, like I started shifting it, trying to hold it still. So I'm looking at the top line all the way across. And if the bottom guy was at 40, right, the top guy's going to be at 140 as long as I didn't shift it. I tried not to, so I can see that that's what we're going for. And again, the two smalls add up to the big. Based on your measurements, what observations can you make about the relationship about ABD, that the measure of ABD, right? The measure just means the number. You're not adding pictures together, you're adding numbers together. So it just should see that the two smalls equal the big. All right, angle addition postulate is that same idea. It just says that D has to lie within ABC. So if you make an angle, all right, and you call them A, and again, the B is the middle one, so it has to be the vertex, and lies within. So within this space, wherever these rays are pointing, you pick a spot. All right, if we call that D and now we make a ray to connect it, then this section here, angle 1, plus this section, angle 2, is going to equal the original big guy. That's all that's trying to tell you. So small plus small equals big is really what it's going for. So then an example, I don't know why this is another example too, we just did that. This should be like a practice. So now we're adding them up. So they want ABC, so ABC. So I'm going to take 30 plus 40 and get set. Make sure you got your unit, make sure you got your degree symbol. All right, so now they're saying ABC, the whole thing over here is 142, and they're asking for this bottom right section. So now we just got to Well, if I'm going to use the angle addition postulate, that's going to be 61 plus x has to add up to 142. Subtract 61 from both sides, and you're going to get 81 degrees. Don't forget about your unit there. All right, you try now. So we'll pause it, and then try it, and then unpause it for the result. All right, so I measured with my protractor, I measured it. I didn't make it up. I got 20 degrees, and that's an acute angle. I got 165, and that is an obtuse angle. All right, so now we got these guys over here. All right, give it a shot, and we'll check them again. All right, so checking the first one here, right? We just said our big angle is equal to the sum of our two small ones, and then we didn't forget our degree symbol. The next one over here, they give us the big angle, and one of the small ones, they ask us for the other small one. So I got big angle plus the angle they gave us, plus the one we're looking for. And so I don't know why I didn't do this before, but I could have just put an X there just to be a placeholder. My marker got jazzed up, my handwriting. Right, minus 61, 92, right, with the degree symbol. And then they gave us the big angle, the small angle, and the small angle. So I got big angle is equal to small angle plus small angle. Then just doing your algebra to get 6. But they didn't ask you for x, right? They asked you for the angle. So you got to take that 6 and put it back in to find the measure of angle ABC. So then I brought it back over here, right? Put my 6 in, multiplied it out, and I get 110. All right? Nice job. See you in the next one.